everybody and welcome to my channel. I am trying a different sitting area in this living room. It's just, there's no good angle. There's no good area to do this. I do think the light is a little bit better on this, but it's not gonna freak my phone out as much as the other spot was. I think it was like too much light on the back of the camera. It was freaking it out. I also think April's just going to be the month of pajamas. Like, I'm still in pajamas again. I just don't feel like doing anything that relates to putting real clothes on. Because I'm doing so much stuff otherwise. Like, we're with so much paperwork, so much traveling for the house. Oh my gosh, I'm already dreading it because we already have to go somewhere next week to do stuff with the house. So I'm just like, if I'm in the house, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to do anything. I don't want to go anywhere. Man, and of course, I picked the morning to, I should have filmed yesterday. I knew I shouldn't have put it off, but I put it off and now they're doing yard work everywhere. So you may hear some of that. So my hair is incredibly long. I am planning to get it cut in the next 2 months once I work up the courage to do it. I'm thinking I'm going back up pretty short again. I like cutting it really short and then not having to deal with it for like 2 years. So that is kind of the plan. But anyway, you guys are here because you want to know what the book club picks are. You already know 2 of them, but 2 of them are kind of a surprise. I'm pretty excited about it. I think this is a pretty good 4-month lineup. This is the announcement for April, May, June, and July. I'm pretty excited about it. I'm pretty excited about it. I know it's a bit late for April, but I got really behind on the book club stuff. You guys know that because of all the medical stuff I've been dealing with. But I've already read, what is today? Today is the 18th. I've already read like 9 books this month. I don't know who I am right now. I don't know who I am. That is also very exciting. But yeah, let's actually go through what the books are. Oh, if you went back and checked the polls, like I said, you're already gonna know what April and May are, but we're still gonna talk about them. So the April book is The Familiar. I'm so excited. I got mine during the, what is it, buy 2, get 1 free sale. My mom was actually here when this came out, and so we went and got it, and she actually had to ask someone to go get it in the back. We found out how they do it in Target. If you work in Target, and this is totally wrong, just let me know. We asked the guy, we're like, hey, we're just wondering, this came out today. We're wondering if you guys had it. And he goes, yeah, we probably do, but the books come in these giant pallets. And they're kind of just mixed together, so hopefully it's on the top. So luckily it was on the top. He came back like 2 seconds later, which was really nice. I did not want him digging through like a bunch of totes. I'm really scared to take off the Target sticker. I was debating that. I was like, I probably should take the Target sticker off before I show this in a video. But I'm so scared because it's a black cover and it's kind of that like matte feeling and sometimes the stickers do not want to come off on those. Oh, hold on. I love how my fears were totally unfounded. Totally unfounded. But anyway, this is a historical fantasy fiction by our queen, Leigh Bardugo, who wrote the Shadow and Bone series, but more importantly wrote Ninth House. I am hoping so much that the Ninth House vibes are in this, just like the writing style of Ninth House and the character development in Ninth House and Hellbent. That's kind of what I'm hoping for because I am not a historical reader, like, at all. Unless it is more like fantasy, like Regency stuff, I'm totally fine with. Or like I'm reading A Fragile Enchantment right now. That's historical, but it's not about the historical side of it. It's about more like the outfits and the aesthetic. I like the aesthetic of historical books, but I tend not to like books that like focus a lot on the history aspect of it. So let's read the little synopsis for this. Fate can be changed, curses can be broken. In a shabby house on a shabby street in the new capital of Madrid, Lucia Cottada uses scraps of magic to get through her days of endless toil as a scullion. But when her scheming mistress discovers that the lump of a servant cowering in the kitchen is actually hiding a talent for little miracles, she demands Lucia, I'm probably pronouncing that wrong, so if you know how to pronounce that, let me know, use those gifts to better the family's social position. What begins as simple amusement for the nobility takes a perilous turn when Lucia garners the notice of Antonio Perez, the disgraced secretary to Spain's king. Still reeling from the defeat of his armada, the king is desperate for any advantage in the war against England's heretic queen, and Perez will stop at nothing to regain the king's favor. Determined to seize this one chance to better her fortunes, Lucia plunges into a world of seers and alchemists, holy men and hucksters, where the lines between magic, science, and fraud are never certain. As her notoriety grows, so does the danger that her Jewish blood will doom her to the Inquisition's wrath. She will have to use every bit of her wit and will to survive, even if that means enlisting the help of Gillian Santangel, the pronunciations, I'm sorry. An embittered immortal familiar whose own secrets could prove deadly for them both. I don't know about this. I don't know about this. I kind of threw this in thinking enough people would be too nervous to actually vote for it. And then you guys voted for it. So I was like, whoops, whoops. I wanted to read it anyway. And I feel like this is one of those books that I would buy and then I wouldn't read. Like I wouldn't read it. So, and I would stare at it and be like, I should just read it. I really just need to read it. So this way I have to read it in April. And I already picked out my bookmark and everything. Hope is that I will be starting this one relatively soon. But yeah, I'm pretty nervous. I'm pretty nervous about this one. I feel like the rest of the books are easy picks. April is going to be a challenge. And I feel like April's going to be people hate it or love it kind of thing again. Okay, so The Familiar was up against The Teacher by Frida McFadden, An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson, and Murder Road by Simone St. James. I really wanted Murder Road to win, but I'm also really glad it didn't because I don't have my copy from Evernight. I assumed that I was going to be getting a copy earlier than I think I actually like realized. No, because I think we were supposed to get it in March. Or was it April? I don't know, but my plan was to read the Evernight version that is coming. But obviously that has not shown up yet. So I'm really, really glad that actually ended up not being the book. So I'm happy that The Familiar did win, and it won by a lot. It had 48% of the vote. The Teacher only had 8%, and Education in Malice only had 24%. So Education in Malice came second, and then Murder Road came last. So I definitely think I've accidentally mostly created a fantasy subscription page. I feel like I guess I should start like rolling with that. I just read so many different things that I never know like who's watching the videos, like who's interested in what. I definitely think I have the most fantasy interested people on my page, which is very interesting. So moving on to the May 2024 book, I threw in Murder Road again in this one, and it still only came in third. The book that we are reading for May is A Fate Inked in Blood. I forgot I had this copy. Like, I was like, oh, I'm gonna have to show a picture of this book, whatever. And I was like, wait a minute. I actually have a physical copy with me because I just opened it in the temp house. So that's cool. So I at least have 2 of the 4 books that we're gonna be talking about. Yeah, you guys picked this one. Again, I was a little surprised this one got picked. I was hoping for Ghost Station by S.A. Barnes. That came in second with 17%, but this overwhelmingly won with 55% of the vote. I was shocked how many people voted for this one. Murder Road came in third with 13%. The reappearance of Rachel Price, which I also was like, oh, I kind of hope that wins, came in at 8%, and then Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, the romance, came in 7%. You guys really don't like romance. You guys really don't like romance. And I feel like I read a decent number of romances that I was surprised that I got such like low votes. Dog's digging into the couch in the background. I was surprised because Just for the Summer, I feel like even non-romance readers read it. So I thought that would also be higher. I was shocked this one by as much as it did. But yeah, we were reading A Fate Inked in Blood. I can't say it right either. The back of my throat closes when I say fate. So I'm gonna overpronounce it and it's gonna sound ridiculous because when I don't, I say fink. Don't know why. Woman blessed by the gods battles to unite a nation under a power-hungry king while also fighting her growing desire for his fiery son in this Norse-inspired fantasy romance from the best-selling author of the Bridge Kingdom series. Bound in an unwanted marriage, Freya spends her days gutting fish but dreams of becoming a warrior and of putting an axe in her boorish husband's back. Freya's dreams abruptly become reality when her husband betrays her to the region's Jarl, landing her in a fight to the death against his son. To survive, Freya is forced to reveal her deepest secret. She possesses a drop of a goddess's blood, which gives her magic capable of repelling any attack. A magic that was foretold would unite the fractured nation of Skaland beneath a king, the one who controls the Shield Maiden's fate. Believing he's destined to rule Scotland, the fanatical Jarl binds Freya with a blood oath and orders his son, Bjorn, to protect her from their enemies. Desperate to prove her strength, Freya must train to fight and learn to control her magic, all while facing perilous tests set by the gods. Except the greatest test of all may be resisting her forbidden attraction to, is it Bjorn? I think it's Bjorn. If Freya succumbs to her lust for the charming and fierce warrior, she risks not only her own destiny, but the fate of all the people she swore to protect. It'll be interesting, guys. This is definitely romantasy, not realizing it was romantasy. I put it on there. So I actually put it up there because, and this is why I was so confused it won by so much when I first saw it. I was very nicely informed by one of my subscribers that this is an adult fantasy. This is in the young adult section, or at least it was for a very long time. This was in the young adult section. That is clearly not a young adult like thing. The synopsis is not young adult. Would you be surprised to know that I actually sometimes don't check the synopses when I pick our book club picks? Would that surprise you guys? Because it doesn't surprise me. But anyway, this is our May pick. I'm pretty excited about this. I think this is going to be a good change from the familiar to this. Like, yeah, this is gonna be a nice, probably a quick, easy read because it is romantasy. Romantasy tends to be very quick moving, fast paced. So I am pretty excited to do like more of like a Viking story too, it seems like. And I think that'll give a lot of people some stress relief after reading the familiar, unless the familiar is just that good. I don't know. But yeah, this seems like a pretty good May pick. Okay. You guys are gonna be so mad. So June 2024. We have a ton of fantasies that we've read. We've just had a lot of like interesting books. And I was really excited that you guys picked A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, and even though I ended up not loving it, I was still really excited to do a backlist book. So I was like, okay, a lot of these are brand new books. July is also a brand spanking new book. So I was like, June needs to be something simple, something backlist, something maybe a lot of people have read already and they may want to reread it, or they just didn't want to start it because there's 4 books in the series. I think it's 4. It's 3. I'm pretty sure it's 4. And they just didn't want to start a series that long, and it's also, again, it's backlist, so there's new stuff to read. Or again, you just want to reread it, or you want to just talk about it with somebody. We're gonna be reading The Raven Boys for June 2024. I did try, I think, and put this in a poll a couple months back, but I think it's gonna be a good palate cleanser because it's a lot of fantasy in a row, not counting A Good Girl's Guide to Murder. That was also a break in our reading. But I figured you got some pretty big books in April and May. I really wanted to just do something easy, or if people want to skip a month, this would probably be the month to skip it. But yeah, we're gonna be reading The Raven Boys. I'm so excited. I have actually I have 2 physical copies of it, but I don't have it with me because I'm in the 10th house, and that is one that got packed up. It has a 4.05 with 367,000 ratings on Goodreads. That's crazy. So this is definitely a young adult throwback. When was this? 2012. 2012, this is September 2012, so I was a sophomore in college in 2012, September 2012. That was a long time ago. That was a long time. I also dated myself, which is super fun. That was a very long time ago, and I'm really excited to go back to like 2000s, so I guess it's 2010s, romance and young adult reading, because some of these books were wild, but it also had some of like really, really good books. So I'm pretty excited about this. Like I'm pretty excited about this. If you didn't know, a bunch of my subscribers last year were bullying me into reading this book because it comes so much in book boxes. Like, it's in book boxes all the time. We're gonna read The Raven Boys, or reread it, or just enjoy the ride. It's freezing in the churchyard even before the dead arrive. Every year, Blue Sargent stands next to her clairvoyant mother as the soon-to-be dead walk past. Blue herself never sees them, not until this year, when a boy emerges from the dark and speaks directly to her. His name is Gansey, and Blue soon discovers that he is a rich student at that's a rough one, the local private school. Blue has a policy of staying away from Aglionby boys. I don't care. Known as Raven Boys, but they can only mean trouble. But Blue is drawn to Gansey in a way she can't entirely explain. He has it all: family, money, good looks, devoted friends. But he's looking for much more than that. He is on a quest that has encompassed 3 other Raven Boys: Adam, the scholarship student who resents all the privilege around him; Ronan, the fierce soul who ranges from anger to despair; and Noah, the taciturn watcher of the 4, who notices many things but says very little. For as long as she can remember, Blue has been warned that she will cause her true love to die. She never thought this would be a problem, but now as her life becomes caught up in the strange and sinister world of the Raven Boys, she's not so sure anymore. Okay, the reason I did not want to read this is I always pick the wrong boy. Like, I always pick the wrong love interest, always. It's without a doubt. The only series that I picked the correct romance, and I thought I picked the wrong one, was the Celestial Kingdom series, Daughter of the Moon Goddess and Heart of the Sun Warrior. I picked the right person. I thought I picked the wrong person, but they did a bait and switch at the end of that series. So I actually ended up picking the right one in that one. I'm gonna be reading that in June 2024. And that brings us to, I feel like this is not gonna be a surprise. Everyone is doing this as their book club pick in July because it comes out at the end of June. Originally, this is gonna be our book for June, but it comes out pretty late. So that would be kind of hard to get it, especially because it is a brand spanking new book. It would be hard to get and then turn around and read it for some people because I don't want you to be forced to buy these books. The idea is that you should be able to get your hands on them, especially because these aren't lives. You should be able to get your hands on them at some point, and then you can just come back and read them whenever you get a chance. So our book for July 2024 is Middle of the Night by Riley Sager. Should come as no surprise. I think we did House on the Lake last year. This one is going to be really interesting because, as we all know, Riley Sager is known for writing female characters. I've never had a problem with his female characters. I don't really know why so many people have problems with his female characters. It's also not like he's trying to, well, it's kind of, I thought he was a female writer at first because of the name Riley, and I don't think that's his real name. His name is Todd. I don't know if I would have read the books knowing his name was Todd. So I do think, yeah, he tried a little bit with, probably his publishers were like, if you want to write female characters, don't have your name be Todd. So Riley Sager, yeah, it's very non-binary of a name, and so it's easy to kind of put a female face on that author name, but we all know he's a guy now, like we all know. But it's interesting because, yeah, like I said, we all know he writes female characters. I've never had a problem with his female characters, but it's been something that people have talked about consistently. And so his new book, Middle of the Night, is following a male character. I'm interested to see how he writes a male character versus the female characters in this line of books. Because at this point, I've read every single Riley Sager book, and they feel almost like a series because writers just write very similarly in every book. I feel like his books have very similar themes to them, so it's starting to feel like this is one giant like anthology series. But anyway, I'm so excited. This comes out June 18th. Middle of the Night. Riley Sager has a 4.05 with only 369 ratings, which is really not that much for such a big release. I feel like they're keeping the arcs pretty under wrap. I have not seen anyone with arcs of this really. And they're on NetGalley, but mine's still pending. I haven't even been rejected yet, so I'm curious if they're just not thumbsing up anyone except for like the big reviewers. The latest jaw-dropping thriller from New York Times bestselling author Riley Sager, a man must contend with the long-ago disappearance of his childhood best friend and the dark secrets lurking just beyond the safe confines of his picture-perfect neighborhood. I also love the cover. I am obsessed and I love the cover. The worst thing to ever happen to Hemlock Circle occurred in Ethan Marsh's backyard. One July night, 10-year-old Ethan and his best friend and neighbor Billy fell asleep in a tent set up on a manicured lawn in a quiet, quaint New Jersey cul-de-sac. In the morning, Ethan woke up alone. During the night, someone had sliced the tent open with a knife and taken Billy. He was never seen again. 30 years later, Ethan has reluctantly returned to his childhood home, plagued by bad dreams and insomnia. He begins to notice strange things happening in the middle of the night. Someone seems to be roaming the cul-de-sac at odd hours, and signs of Billy's presence keep appearing in Ethan's backyard. Is someone playing a cruel prank, or has Billy, long thought to be dead, somehow returned to Hemlock Circle? The mysterious occurrences prompt Ethan to investigate what really happened that night, a quest that reunites him with former friends and neighbors and leads him into the woods that surround Hemlock Circle. Woods where Billy claimed monsters roamed and where a mysterious institute does clandestine research on a crumbling estate. The closer Ethan gets to the truth, the more he realizes that no place, be it quiet forest or suburban street, is completely safe, and that the past has a way of haunting the present. It's like, it seems kind of normal, and then you throw in like some of the weird stuff that I'm like, is this gonna be one of his paranormal thrillers? Like, is this gonna be one of his paranormal thrillers, or is this gonna be normal? It's like, I don't know. He does a bunch of different stuff. Like, this could go paranormal. This could go fake paranormal. This could go there's no paranormal at all whatsoever. It just kind of seems like it from the synopsis, but that's not what this is about. This could be secret society things. He's done that kind of before. It's done everything. It could be anything. So I am so excited. I'm so excited. Even if the book is not good, it's always a wild ride with a Riley Sager book. These books are like a perfect book for book clubs because there is always stuff to talk about. There's always stuff to talk about, and they're so easy to read. They're so fast. They're so easy to read. So I'm excited about it. So yeah, those are our book club picks through July 2024. Like I said, we have April, The Familiar, May, A Fate, Inked in Blood, June, The Raven Boys, and July, Middle of the Night. So excited, so excited. And hopefully I remember this time to actually send out polls earlier than I did for these books, April and May. Probably early July or late June will be the next polls. So look out around that time on the community tab and stuff. Yeah, I'm excited. I think these are 4 very interesting book club picks. I'm probably the most nervous. I feel like I'm the most nervous about A Fate, Inked in Blood, weirdly enough. I feel like that's the one I'm most nervous for because for me, romantasy can either be super good or absolutely terrible and I want a DNF. But I'm also terrified of The Familiar. But I'm less terrified of it because I know at least the author and I've liked Leigh Bardugo, especially the adult books that she's written. So I do think I'm the most nervous for A Fate, Inked in Blood. That's where I'm at. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of our book club content, anything like that. Like the video if you enjoyed it, and make sure you comment down below what you think about the book club picks, what you're gonna pick up, what you're not gonna pick up. You do not have to read every book that I put on here. It's you pick and choose what you want to read. That's kind of the fun of this book club and of most book clubs. You don't have to read the books if you don't want to. Anyway, that's everything I have for you today, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next video.